Okay. Just a minute. Get this mic situated. Let me see. A second. Mic. There we go. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay. All right, y'all, back again. Monday. Let's do this. Let's get on this post-fight WMMA talk. This past weekend was crazy. I mean, we had like 11 fights, 10 fights in the WMMA world. You know, what do we have? We had to deal with the cancellation. LFA's title fight got canceled, so that sucked. But I mean, we had some good fights. I already talked about Bellator, so we ain't gonna go into that. I already talked about the LFA card. I'm not gonna go into that unless something comes up. Anybody asks a question about it, but man, I think we still talking about this Cavillo situation, man. It's crazy, man. Let me see here. Pull this up. There we go. All right, y'all. So welcome back. Let's go ahead and get into this, man. We're gonna talk about first. I want to talk Cortney Casey and Leah Jojua. Experience came into play in this fight for real, man. I know how everybody felt about the wrestling situation, the grappling, but Leah Jojua, to me, just didn't have that level of experience to take on Cortney Casey, in my opinion. That's why when it came down to it, I said, you know what? I'm going with Cortney Casey. I got to go with the more experienced fighter. I know we've seen Cortney in trouble on the ground, but no, we got to go with Cortney on this one, man, for sure. So, yeah, let's talk about that. Cavillo, too. Cavillo versus Andrea Lee. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Pie and Case said Cavillo's a quitter. I can't. I was feeling that way, but I was a little shocked. But the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, the girl's been through a lot. She's been through a lot of, situations. Like I said, even behind the scenes. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Like, this situation with testing positive, the 19. I don't know what her deal is right now. She hasn't looked the same. So we're going to talk about that, though. She did quit, which does make you a quitter. But, I mean, there's a reason behind it. It's not like she's a coward. I mean, if you refer to her being a coward for quitting, then, that's a different story. You can't say that. But we got to talk that. Leah Letson and Felicia Spencer, how big of a win was this for Felicia? Is this kind of a wake-up call for Leah Letson? 3 years. 3 years out of action. The game evolves, right? WMMA's been evolving. And, she's been out since the Tough House. They were still trying to get this featherweight situation under some type of structure, but it didn't work out, right? So in between that time, a lot has changed. A lot has changed in the game, so for Leah Letson, it's kind of a wake-up call to say, I want to do this or not. Right? But Cortney Casey, like I said, I couldn't pick against Cortney in this fight. Like, there was nothing telling me that Cortney was going to get submitted or just get dominated or get mauled by Leah Jojua. Like, Leah Jojua has never showed me, like, this high-level grappler. You know what I mean? She's never showed me this high-level grappler where she was, like, unstoppable. Like, this unstoppable force that just gets takedown after takedown and just mauls you and beats you into submission. Right? Jojua has 4 submission wins on her resume. How many does Cortney Casey have? She also has 4. Hers came in the UFC. Jojua's came on a lower level. So, I mean, this is a situation where MMA math adds up. It adds up for sure. I mean, you got to look at the fact that Cortney Casey may be 9-9, but she's fought the best fighters. She's lost to the best fighters, whereas Leah Jojua has lost to the fighters on her level. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull up her resume. I mean, Cortney Casey can get out of a lot out of those losses to those fighters, even like the Angela Hill or Felice Herrig or Waterson. You can learn a lot from those because, I mean, she came up short. All she had to do is learn how to step on the gas and maybe get a finish. But, when you look at somebody like Jojua, who's lost, let me see, back in 2016, she's had a couple losses back then. She's been choked out before. Some of her submission wins, like I said, they came from the lower organizations. Hasn't submitted anybody in the UFC. Been stopped 2 times. So, I mean, that's the kind of math we're looking at. I mean, she did submit Diana Belbita, okay? But what does that really say, right? Submitting Diana Belbita doesn't really say a great deal about her grappling skills or her jiu-jitsu. If anything, Cortney Casey, her takedown defense and the level she's been learning throughout the years is on a higher level than Jojua. So, we just got to be real with it. Like, Cortney, her striking is better than Jojua's grappling. Let's just put it that way. Jojua didn't have those skill sets, that she needed. And me going into this fight, I said she needed to do this, but I didn't really have any confidence where she could just go in there and do it. I didn't have any type of confidence where it was just going to be something where you just go in there and just maul her, take Cortney down. Because you got to, Cortney's still very strong. I mean, it's an art, to get these fighters down like her. Jillian Robertson had to really force it, behind some striking, and that's just her thing. This isn't Leah Jojua's. This ain't her level. And with that being said, I still think that Leah Jojua has a lot to learn. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, her UFC record right now is 1-3. So I think I speak for everybody, man. To be said, I don't believe it's rust. Maybe, rust about what? Cortney or Jojua? Oh, I ain't talking about Letson. I'm talking about Leah Jojua and Cortney Casey. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. Cortney. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, Cortney, like I said, when you look at her resume, you're gonna automatically say, oh, she's a bum, 9-9, or she's not good. Like, some people tell me, oh, she's just a fighter that is used to losing. No, I mean, she's not. I mean, she's maybe used to bad decisions. But she's not used to like getting dominated or like trashed and just thrown out. She still has a level of competitiveness in her. She still does come to fight. She's came up short against certain fighters. She's never just laid down and just took the L. So I think that, Cortney Casey had a lot to offer. Like Cortney, Randa, Roxanne Modafferi. You don't know the sport if you think you can just go in there and just say, oh, I'm going to blast through this person because they got 9-10 losses. You got to earn that, man. You have to earn that. And to take on Cortney, you still have to earn a win over everybody that's beat her. They've had to go in there and really push. Jojua, to me, still has a lot to learn with her stand-up. And I said this before, man. Hang on here. I said this before about her, her style. Jojua, has a very pronounced nose. He's got a big nose, big bridge of a nose. And if you have that type of nose and you get hit a lot or you bleed easy, that should tell you, like, if you want to be a stand-up fighter, you need defense. You need defense. You just can't go in there and lead with your face like that or just stay on the outside with a better striker. Like, that's what she was doing. Like, right from the jump, I was expecting her to close the distance at some point, but she wasn't doing that. Like, clinch up. She was just letting Cortney feint, control her, land those right hands and just shoot straight kicks up the middle. Like, there's a lot of waiting. Like, she landed a little bit more on Miranda just because she was taking that chance. She was letting her hands go in that fight, but even Miranda figured her out quick. Like, Miranda got her out of there in one round because she started throwing accurate hits. And that's why I say, like, she loses the fighters on her level, because Miranda, when she came in, made her debut, she showed that, look, I'm better. I need to be in a better place than this, right? And she did that by stopping her. I know it was a doctor stoppage, but still, like, eventually it would have came. So, you just got to look at that level. Like, I know you're a fan of Leah Jojua, but hey, man, like, it's like, the longer she stays around, the more damage she's going to take. She just wasn't ready for this UFC level, in my opinion. The organization she's fought for, let me see, they weren't even like, even like second tier levels like LFA or Invicta. Let me see, no Bellator. Let's see, she's fought for Fight Nights Global, Emir, Kunlun, SLMMA. I mean, she's been in the game for 6 years, too. Kumite. So she started at an early age. Like, at 26, Leah Jojua, there was really no rush for her to go to the UFC. Like, from 2015 to 2018, her first 3 years in the game were lower level organizations. Like, there was no growth through LFA, Bellator, or Invicta there for Jojua. She made a leap from that 3 years of experience to the UFC. Right? And throughout those fights, when I went back and looked at some of them, none of them were really like dominant fights. None of them were really like crazy dominant fights. Like, where she was in there getting that dominance factor build up. Like Manon. Manon, when she hit the scene after her career and, coming from karate, there was still like a level of growth there. Like, she was adding more to her game and becoming more of a mixed martial artist. So, like, Jojua, coming from that Muay Thai background, she's had some good grappling moments, of course, early on in her career, but like, there was no growth in between, man. So that was a big jump for her to the UFC. They kind of did that with the other girl too. What is her name? Oh man, like the girl from Australia, the other girl with the pronounced nose. What is her name? Nadia Kassim. They did the same thing with her. Let me see, because Nadia Kassim, her nickname 187. Okay. Same thing with her. She came from Urban Fight Nights, right? She came from that Urban Fight Nights in 2015. And then after 2 years and 4 fights, she jumped to the UFC. She jumped to the UFC in 2017, right? Off of 4 fights. Goes in there, beats Alex Chambers. Didn't stop her. then loses to Montana De La Rosa and Jin Yoon Kim, right? So I'm like, oh, come on. Like, 1 and 2. There was no growth in between there for her. That's what I'm talking about. Like, some of these fighters are being rushed, you know. Nadia Kassem, also 26. Okay. There's another fighter, also 26 years old. She's been pushed a little too fast, too. So, the UFC are looking for young prospects, but they're also looking for that young eye candy for these divisions where they think they can, you know, just push them off of what they look like and hope they can put on a good show and maybe get to that point where they could challenge Valentina. But no, man, you got to grow. They're very similar. Liana Jojua and Nadia Kassem, very similar. You know, they had some good growth in between. Jojua's got more, though. Jojua has more experience on a lower level, you know, from 2015 up to now. But there was that gap in between. Like, you don't jump from these, like, C and D organizations to the A level. There was no B in there. Especially for Kassem, man. Kassem went from, let me see. Yeah, Urban Fight Night into the UFC. Then when she steps up in competition, gets finished by De La Rosa and Jin Yoon Kim. So, yeah, there's levels, man. I mean, this is another thing. This is another video. But, yeah, some of these fighters are jumping into the UFC a little too fast. But if they answer that call and they sign a contract, they need to work, man. I don't know, man. Australia said Jojua probably gets that. Yeah, she probably gets the cut. Yeah. Yeah, she's probably going to get it. I mean, yeah, 1 and 3, she'll probably get it. But yeah, shout out to Cortney. I mean, Cortney did what she was supposed to do. Australia said next for Cortney, Meatball or Lipsky. Either one of those. Because this is Cortney Casey's second win at flyweight, having beaten Mara Romero Barella, and now Jojua, right? In between, she lost to Jillian Robertson and who else did she lose to? JJ Aldridge. Yeah, she lost to JJ Aldridge too. So she's not ready for a top 15. I like a fighter like that though. Meatball. Oh man, that would be excitement. I mean, the hands would be flying with Cortney Casey and Meatball. Let's be real. Cortney Casey and Meatball, that's a good fight. Turn the sound there. There we go. Yeah, Cortney Casey versus Meatball is good. I mean, that's a good stand-up fight. Ariane Lipsky would be a good fight. I mean, Ariane Lipsky got that power, but Cortney Casey got the chin. Cortney got her own hands, and Cortney does have an underrated ground game that could come into play. So if Cortney started getting tagged by Ariane Lipsky, I see her getting I see Cortney Casey going for the takedown on Lipsky. But yeah, those are good choices for Casey, Meatball or Lipsky. And if Casey was able to beat Lipsky, man, that might put her in a better standing. She might get a top 15. So, knowing how they work, they probably would give her one. So that would be a good fight. Her takedown defense really, really needs to be a big focus, though, moving forward, though. Like, if she's not really a grappler, it's got to be takedown defense moving forward for sure. Okay, so, and yeah, Jojua, my final thoughts on Jojua, I think she has to be cut right now. I think she has to be cut. Not because I don't like her, but because of the fact that she just needs to be, oh, sorry, I was reading. Brian Williams said Cortney is tough. Lipsky versus Casey is good. Yeah, that's a good fight. Yeah, but Jojua, she needs to be moved a little bit carefully right now. 26 years old, getting the axe from the UFC. That's not the end of the world. 26 years old, you got that experience. Now it's time to, get cut after being 1-3, go to Invicta, get the work in. After maybe 2 years, 3 years maybe, and then come back. That's all. That's my opinion. I mean, much like Nadia Kassim, I mean, you don't want to wind up like her, like Nadia Kassim. I haven't even seen her in a minute. So there's a chance for Jojua to come back from this. Okay, so all right, Andrea Lee. Let's talk Andrea Lee and Cynthia Cavillo, man. I know not a lot of people were looking forward to this fight, but I liked it, man. I enjoyed it. I was glad to see the matchup because this is what Cavillo needed. This is what Cavillo needed. This is what Andrea Lee needed. Like I said, a lot of these fights, under Valentina are all 50-50. We needed to see where they stand. And I'm getting tired of the same old performances where, the matchups, we know they're going to be the champion just dominating them, We just needed to see Cavillo in a place where we could really gauge her right now because she's been moved a little. When you look at Cavillo, like I like her as a fighter, but there's been times where, she's been pushed into situations a little premature. Cavillo's been in, in Dana's good graces for a while, and I'm just kind of like, I like what I'm seeing from her, but I need to see more. I'm like, I need to see more from her. And then when they move her to 125, like right in the middle of the flyweight sharks, I was like, oh, what's going to happen here? She beats Jessica Eye and looks good. Then she was supposed to fight Lauren Murphy, but that fight gets canceled. I was like, okay, what's going to happen when they do fight? Lauren's a big girl. Lauren's a well-rounded fighter compared to Cavillo. And then instead she goes in and fights Caitlin Chikagan, and Chikagan, just outworks her. Then Cavillo goes on the record to say she's the best grappler at flyweight and then gets stopped by Andrade. I'm like, what's going on? So we're seeing that she's not elite. So fighting down was a necessity. It was a must. She had to fight down because we had to see where she stands. And this fight with Andrea Lee answered a lot of questions. It did. Andrea Lee is a fighter that, like I said in the past, has a lot of great tools but doesn't execute. But she's kind of been on a warpath lately. After 3 fights in a row, 3 close losses in a row, she took it out on Antonina. She took it out on Antonina Shevchenko. And now she took it out on Cavillo. And there's not much difference. Like I said, Andrea Lee's number 12, but that doesn't mean that Cavillo is necessarily better than her. Calvillo's number 5, but she just got pushed there, right? When it comes down to it, I like her, but that's the truth. So this was a show and prove moment. Andrea Lee said, okay, I'm taking this fight. Jessica Eye is out. And this is time to prove that I'm better than this number 5 fighter. And she put herself in a better situation, by putting the work on Cynthia Cavillo. I mean, she put something on her, man. Put something on her vicious. And Cavillo just didn't have the game plan to say, I need to close the distance and wrestle this girl and get her down. She tried to strike with her. Got pieced up. Man, like I said, I made my pick just for going off of rankings and, me being a fan of Cavillo. But when it came down to it, I was like, man, I don't know, man. If Andrea Lee wins, I'm not going to be shocked. I was shocked in the fashion though. I was more so shocked in the fashion how she won. I wasn't shocked on Andrea Lee winning. I knew that was a possibility, but the fact that she had the no mas this thing, I was like, whoa, like Cynthia Cavillo might be on her way out. I don't know. Stray said, 2B said, he's worried about the king. Yeah. Oh man, the king's got work to do too, but the king is on the radar. The king is on the radar. But the queen is really on the radar, and Manon Firo. Don't forget that. Stray said UFC ain't paying nobody to quit on the stool. Dana White won't accept it. Cavillo probably gets the axe too. Very possible, man. 3 in a row. 3 hard losses in a row. She could get the axe, man. Brian Williams said Andrea Lee has looked as good as any of the top 5 in her last 2 fights. I think so too, man. Yeah, she has. Like, that's my point. Like, right now, Andrea Lee, the only thing separating her was just some bad performances and bad execution and a couple of ranking numbers. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, she did beat Lauren Murphy, but it was her own fault. She didn't execute. So Andrea Lee is in a position right now where she needs to play this hand right. She's getting dealt a good hand right now, and she needs to play the hell out of it. I mean, like, she's in a position right now where she needs to at least do a little bit of bluffing with this hand and say, I already got one Shevchenko's name on my resume, and now it's time to get the other. But what does she do? She does the opposite. Matter of fact, since we right here, let's pull this post-fight up, man. I saw the post-fight, Andrea Lee, and her words for Valentina Shevchenko. The perfect Valentina Shevchenko. The close to perfect Valentina Shevchenko, right? Didn't sound like a fighter that wants the title shot right now. I mean, she's in a good position. 2B said, what's Andrea Lee's chances against one of the gatekeepers other than Lauren Murphy? Her chances against Jennifer Maia, I like her chances. Jennifer Maia is 50-50. Jennifer Maia is 50-50 2Bs, but Caitlin Chikagan, I can see beating Andrea Lee just because she has that boxing style and defense that's better. Like, Andrea Lee gets hit. Let's not forget, Andrea Lee gets hit. It showed in this fight. She got her nose busted in the first round. She can take a lot of punches. And Caitlin Chikagan's gas tank is better. So Caitlin Chikagan has an underrated ground game. So her chances are good against Jennifer Maia. Cavillo, Chikagan's hard to call. Jessica Andrade, though, I don't know, man. Like, that jab could be an issue for Jessica Andrade. And Andrea Lee's looking strong. Andrea Lee's looking strong, though. But she can't take punches like that. Her defense is what would cancel out her chances against Andrade, if you ask me. But right now, I mean, compared to everybody else, I mean, Andrea Lee is new blood, and we do need some new blood, and she has a chance against all 3 of them. She has a chance. Like, not a great chance against Chikagan out of all of them, but I think style-wise, Andrea Lee does have a chance, though. You know, she has judo, has the jiu-jitsu, the physical strength, the kickboxing, the jab, the reach. You know, so yeah, like she has a chance. And jumping from number 12, I mean, hey, put yourself on the map. Get a couple more fights. I mean, everybody else is kind of looking a little bit more like war-torn and shot now, right? Roxanne's about out the door. Or, yeah, one more fight, Roxanne's out the door. The most durable fighter in here is Jennifer Maia, in my opinion. Lauren Murphy suffered a bad beating. I think she's suspended for a while, I think. Jessica Andrade might be going down to 115. Caitlin Chikagan, I think she probably is the next most durable one because she's most active. Viviane Araújo looks good, but her gas tank is questionable. Alexa Grasso's the other one that looks durable. So Grasso, Maya, got some decent fighters in there, but Andrea Lee is looking like the one that's looking the most durable if she can kind of revamp herself, But yeah, like I said, she needs to put herself in title talk position eventually. But I mean, to me, I think she needs a couple more fights, especially off of what she said. I mean, and how she said it. Hold on, let me pull this thing up. Okay, Andrea Lee, Valentina Shevchenko is pretty close to perfect. Pull this thing up. Make sure you hit the like button while I'm doing this too. Andrea Lee was on a decent run and ranking before her skid, and I would always develop a stutter when asked about her willingness to face the champion. Wouldn't expect any different from her now, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Stamina. Like, that's why I say, like, just take your time, get some other bags, get some other fights. Don't rock the boat. Because she get the beatboxing. When it comes to the fight with Valentina, it gets the you know what I mean? You get the little bit of stutter in there. So hold on, I'm playing this thing. Hold on.
Yes, getting my hand raised was exactly what I expected. The way that I won, I wasn't expecting that. Going into the third round and then telling me that she couldn't continue. Do you feel like maybe more fighters should do that? That they should take their health in the
Hold on, I'm reading a comment too in the comment section. Somebody said her demeanor changed when asked about Valentina. She knows it's an uphill battle to face the bullet in the near future. Someday, she says. Hey, that's honesty. Haven't gotten that work in with Valentina before. I mean, behind the scenes, and you see her work ethic. I mean, be real. Just be real. Don't rock the boat. I mean, when you just got your first top 10 win in a minute. Take your time getting there. That's why I said, I was I telling you that, Straya? I said, man, she don't need to rush it. Like, I know, Straya, you said I was talking about prospect versus prospect. But, hey, man, why not wait? Get Grasso and Viviane Araújo. At this point, they're past prospect. You feel me? And Andrea Lee is not a prospect anymore. So why not get those fights in? Because she's not ready for Valentina. That's what I was saying the other day, Straya, when we were commenting. She don't need to fight Lauren Murphy yet. She already did that. Because the minute she beats Lauren Murphy, Valentina's next, and she's not ready for that. So fight the winner of Araújo versus Grasso. Fight that fighter. Fight Lauren Murphy, or the winner of Maya versus Chikagan or Andrade. 2 more fights. Those are the 2 fights I'm saying right now. Those 2 fights. Be it one of those fighters. And then let it be Valentina. So get to work in, man. That's all I'm saying. Because it sounds like if she went in there with Valentina now, she would get a beat down and then lose something and then not be able to perform against the lower level fighters. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. Like, I understand where these fans are coming from. Fans are like, oh, Andrea Lee's going to do it. She's the best. Like, she's got this and that. But, like, sometimes fans give their fighters false confidence, I'm not speaking as a fan. I'm speaking more as, like, somebody looking at a fighter in the corner. And I'm going to tell you now, if you don't want, Andrea, you don't want Valentina yet, there's other roads, right? But in my opinion, it would be nice for her to at least say, eventually, I want that. Like, it didn't even sound like she wanted that yet. Significant Strike said, word is Cavillo suffered a broken orbital bone. Word might be right, Significant Strike. I got a video coming out. I'm talking about it. I just did a video a couple hours ago, and I said her cheekbone looked broken. I don't think it had anything to do with Cindy Cavillo's hand being hurt. I think her cheekbone is broken. I mean, if you look at it, it really looks broken. Yeah, so I got a video coming out. I did that about a hour ago. Yeah, did that one, and I was like, yo, like she might have quit because her cheekbone looked broken. So, yeah, that's a possibility. But Andrea Lee, man, I think she's in a position where she needs to kind of play this hand, bluff a little bit. Hold on, Straya said, I agree with what you said, but I was saying that's what the UFC will do. They won't give her the bullet yet, but Murphy, etc., definitely. Yeah, I haven't got a chance to go back and read comments today, Straya, after I had said what I said, so I might have missed it. I'll go back and read it though, man. Like, I mean, we talk now. I'm online, so I was just kind of busy. But yeah, I know what the UFC would do, but I was talking like from my point of view. I think that moving her as a matchmaker, if I was matchmaker, I would take Andrea Lee from number 12 after beating Cavillo. Let her fight the winner of Grasso or Arujo, since neither one of them are ready for a title shot, right? Neither one of them are ready, so let them fight mini tournament. Winner of that fight fights the winner of Chikeg and Maya or Andrade. And if she can win those two fights, then there's no question about it anymore, because Lee will be in the top 10 and in the top 5, and we go from there, right? So that happens. I think that would be a better move for her. And going by her tone and her body language and the way she's kind of speaking about the fight, I don't think she would get the title fight anytime soon, and that plan might work for her, if that makes sense. Like, with her kind of holding back, maybe she'll get those fights. Honestly, I think she'd win a Lauren Murphy rematch right now. All right, let's play this thing here real quick. Hold on. Straight, you got to come on sometime, man. Open mic, open link one night. I mean, you always got some good points. So anytime, a live show, jump on the line. Hang on, just where's the Valentina part? Oh, okay. All right, let's see. Valentina wants a fresh face. Hold on. Okay, so part of what she said makes sense. She wants to earn it. Part of what she said sounds like she wants to earn it. Oh yeah, stamina. Yeah, the audio was kind of quiet because I was just listening to it myself. I wasn't playing it exactly for y'all at the time. I just for right now, I just wanted to hear it again so I could talk about it. Yeah, Andrea Lee, she said that she wants to earn it, and that, that's fine. I mean, I just was kind of tripping when she said that, she doesn't want to leapfrog over everybody. But I mean, like, yo, like, you don't have to leapfrog through everybody. You can fight your way through them. Like I said, get a couple fights, and that's earning it. So yeah, I agree with that part of the way she said it. Let's see. Hold on.
I'd love to be that one. But we'll see what happens. I don't think that they're gonna broke that.
Hold on. I'll let y'all hear it though. I don't know if y'all ever heard it. Turns the mic on.
That what am I trying to say?
Curse.
Yes, the curse. I think I broke the curse. At least I hope I did.
Valentina also seems to like to fight in Texas. I'm not saying like title shot next, but there's a lot of fighters ahead of you that have already fought for the belt. Are you looking at these names and being like, well, she wants a fresh face, like it has like back-to-back stoppage wins in this division? You have to be probably on the short list for the title shot, right?
Yeah, I mean for sure, she definitely is probably looking for a fresh face, and I know that the UFC is looking for a fresh face, and I'd love to be that one. But we'll see what happens. I don't think that they're gonna, I don't think that. I'm trying to earn it. I'm trying to deserve it, and I want to believe that I have. I don't want to just, leapfrog over everybody. I do want to deserve it. I want to earn it.
I'm sure you've watched all of her fights and just game planning for the champion of your division. But after Lauren,
okay. Yeah, I'm sure you heard it that time.
So when you're watching these fights, are you seeing?
Turn that off. Okay, yeah. So I'm sure you heard it there. Yeah. So she made a good point. I mean, about wanting to earn it, and that's what she has to do. She has to earn it. She's got to go back in there and get some good wins over these top fighters that are coming in ready to push her. And she's got to look just as dominant. She has to me, to even look like she can compete for the title right now, she's got to win in this fashion every time. From the Shevchenko fight to the Cavillo fight, she fights Grasso. It's got to look just as dominant every single time to even make me think she's ready for that. And I mean, she doesn't sound ready for that right now. So let her get some other fights in, and then we'll go from there, right? So Cavillo, though. Let's talk about Cavillo, man. Real quick here. My thoughts on Cavillo. I think that right now, Cynthia needs to. I think she got to move down, man. I think she has to move down. I don't think she has the defense, and I don't think she really does have the grappling and the strength to hang with 125. I think if she gets on the right diet, she could get back down to strawweight, no problem. I mean, if Andrade can get down to 115, I mean, Calvillo should be able to make it. If Wei Lee can make 115, I think she should be able to make it. Eventually, I think it's just a matter of really getting in there, man, like, and really trying to work it. I don't know, man. I think that, hold on. Stray said UFC might be pushing Barber and give her the shot at Lee for that number 5 spot. Oh, no way. I do not want that. I do not want that at all. That better not happen. Yeah, Cavillo has to do I think Cavillo just got to go back down to 115, man. That's where she's best at. And I think that's where she could really hang, even with her hands and her strength. It's not working, man. It's not working at 125 right now. It doesn't seem like she really evolved. Like, she's not really turning into the grappler that she says she is, or that she claims to be. When she gets in there, she likes to wrestle. I mean, when she likes to strike and box, she doesn't have the angles, the fundamentals for that make it work. But first off, though, Cavillo, she needs to let everything heal up, take her maybe 8 to 9 months off, and really go back and reassess things, as far as her approach. Like, her team now have really been pushing her as a striker, and that's not working. You don't go in there and strike with a kickboxer that has the reach of a, has a 5 that's a 4 or 5.5 inch reach advantage. Either way is a long reach. And Lee knows how to use that reach. So that was a bad plan. That was just a bad plan. Her whole game plan should have been dirty boxing and clinch fighting and ground. Training for takedowns. So she just had the wrong approach for that, man. And I think that she doesn't have the strength to hang, man, like with these girls at 125. You can't beat her. You're not going to beat Maya. We already saw you couldn't beat Andrade or Chikagan. So it's not weight issues, man. I mean, it's not just skill issues. It's weight issues too, man. Like, got to go back down. She should have never been talking about Valentina's grappling like she was going to hang with that. Because, oh, man, Valentina would have, ooh, man. Significant Strike said Cavillo looked so small in the cage with Andrea. Yeah, she did. She looked tiny against Lee, man. Like, couldn't get past the jab. Body kicks were hurting her. And like I told y'all before, she's suspect to the body. Marina Rodriguez hurt her to the body. Keys to victory, I said Lee's going to have to go to the body. And that's what she did. Broke her down, man. But yeah, if she did break her orbital bone, like you said, that's usually like a 9 to 10 month healing process right there. Wise decision making, Cavillo, if she's in a situation like Kell Brook, the boxer, yeah, you probably take 8 to 9 months off from that. Probably won't be back till next, let me see, the end of the year. Into 2020, what is this, 2023, 2022? Yeah, probably be back in 2022, And in the meantime, work that diet, get back down to 115, get down to 115. Oh, Stammer said no 115. Nah, man. I don't know if she can hang in 115, man. Like, we've already kind of seen what she's looked like against these girls that have the strength now. I don't know, man. I can't go with that. 115, I think, is where she needs to be. I mean, look at her core, man. Look at her midsection. Like, all that can be taken off, man. Like, is leaving her vulnerable to the body right now. I mean, if Andrade Suarez can do it, I think she can do it. I don't think there's much you can change at this point with her at 125. I mean, she's what, 34? In this grappler heavy division, if you couldn't beat Chikagan and Andrade, the gatekeepers, at 34, then I think 115 would be the best bet for her. Because at least maybe there her striking and her speed would be effective. But right now her grappling is not coming into play. Like, at this point you put on muscle, I don't know if she'll be even growing accustomed to that. And then you gotta look at her reach. She doesn't even know how to use her reach, man. If anything, she go back down to 115, her jiu-jitsu and wrestling would be very effective there. So I 125, you can put on that weight gain and strength training. It's probably going to slow you down. You can work on the skills and tactics, yeah, but are your skills and tactics going to catch up to Maya? Will you beat Chikagan? Will you beat Grasso or Arujo? See, look at Grasso. Grasso at 115 was already utilizing good footwork and defense and boxing. That's why when she moved up, it was no problem because her skill set was already developed. But now you're trying to develop in the Shark Tank. You're going to be getting gnawed up and chewed up, Stamina. You can't do that. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just try to develop into a brand new fighter. Like, it's not going to work. Like, you have to at least go where you were in familiar grounds and kind of go from there. Like I said, Grasso, see, her style already fit between 115 and 125 because she's got the fundamentals. She's got the strength. She developed the strength along the way, you know. Stan said we haven't seen her muscle or ragdoll. I think Andrea Lee was about to. Like, Andrea Lee, the way she stuffed these takedowns and she was able to peel her off, even off the fence, it showed you that, hey, she can't even handle that type of strength that Andrea Lee has. And she has been smashed with power, though, by Andrade. I know Andrade is a different animal, but Andrade said, no, you ain't getting in here. If you couldn't handle Andrade's power at this weight, you know, you're not going to advance to me. Okay, Stammer. The skill set is better at 115, but her style fit 115. Follow me now. Follow me. 115 is more heavy on strikers and speed. But if you look at 125, you looking at grapplers and physically strong specimens here, you know. 115, she can hang. 115, she can hang because her striking comes into play a little bit more, and she can use her grappling as well. Like, she took Marina Rodriguez down. You know, she could take fighters like that down. You know, competitive with Carlos Esparza, right? Those fights were competitive. But why are these fights not competitive? Because she's too small. Yeah, the skill set is higher, but her style, we're talking about her style here. Calvillo's style, her size, 5'3", 5'4", whatever. Her style is fit for strawweight. There's some fighters that can cross over because they carry great defense and tactics. Pound for pound fighters do that. But some fighters are just strawweight fighters and some are flyweight fighters. And to me, she's a strawweight fighter. See, Valentina is a flyweight or bantamweight. She's a complete fighter. Rose is a strawweight. You know, Calvillo's just proven to be a strawweight. She came up, didn't evolve, and now it's costing her. Yeah, she did come in a little overweight in that fight. And that was her fault. It was just discipline there. Like, she did come in a little overweight. And she still got hurt to the body. Yeah. She did come in overweight in that Marina Rodriguez fight. Yeah, I don't know if she will get the boot. They might give her a chance. She's probably okay for now. I don't think they would cut a top 10 fighter like that just right off top. Oh, yeah, Stamina. I mean, yeah, you don't have to agree. I mean, what I say makes sense. And I mean, I've seen it before. Following boxing for years, following this sport for years. You're talking about 3 decades invested in boxing and seeing what style goes up and what doesn't work. I mean, I'm just going off what I say, man. So, I mean, what you're saying makes sense to a certain degree, but I mean, to me, it's a little too late to try to turn into this powerhouse at 125. So, I mean, it's just debating for me. I mean, yeah, it's whatever, but I mean, I can go all day. I mean, I'm not gonna stop. I mean, I'm just trying to get you to understand it comes down to styles too. Like, some fighters just can't move up in weight because they're a specific type of fighter. Andrade can move up and down. Why? Because she's athletic and very, very powerful. Now, if she didn't have that power and she didn't have that strength, what would I say? Andrade, you stay at 115, right? See, Sarge is a flyweight. She admitted it. You know, she was like, yo, I was putting the wrong stuff in my body. And, you know, this is where I need to be. You know, I can't be up at this weight. I can do flyweight. So, All right, you tell her she good. I think 3 losses in a row to the top dogs kind of tells you where she's at style wise. So even if she changed style wise, I see Chikagan, Andrade, and Jennifer Maia beating her. That girl's a 115er. That girl is 115. Roy said if Maia beats Chikagan, Dana will probably give Maia a rematch with Valentina before anyone gets a title shot. If he did, that would be fine. Because Maia deserves it. You know, she's been talking like it. She's been talking the talk. Like she wants to get back in there, right? She definitely earned that. So, with that, let's jump to this last fight. I mean, I don't have a great deal to say about this one here because this featherweight fight, you know, it was a fan pick for me. You know, Leah Letson, I had to go with, I was going with Spencer. You know, I knew Spencer had it, but I wanted to see Leah Letson do something. You know, Leah Letson is that fighter that, to me, she's just kind of been having that hard road, you know, hard health issues, being in pain, and being out of the game for 3 years. You know, and like I said earlier, you know, the game evolves, man. Like, that's something you have to be prepared for. Like, she got down to a healthy weight in healthy shape, but you know, fighting weight is a different thing. You know, fighting weight is just totally different. I think fighting weight for her, you know, this is something she had to get accustomed to, especially for the level of fighter she was fighting. You know, Felicia Spencer's very active, dangerous. She's high pressure. You know, got the experience from facing Nunes and Cyborg. You know, whereas Leah Letson is, you know, just having a long layoff here. You know, she's been working on her body, but you know, it's just simple MMA math this time around, right? Simple MMA math where it says, okay, this fighter here, active, strong, young, continue to work, versus this fighter that's been out for 3 years, right? This fighter's going to lose. And, you know, they're going to get overwhelmed. So, rust was a big factor with Leah Letson. You know, I think it was rust. I think she can come back sharper. I just think this was a bad style matchup. See, if there was a division, if the featherweight had a division, man, she could fight somebody on a lower level. Like, she wouldn't have to go in here against somebody who fought for titles. You know, like, that's just bad matchmaking. You know, Felicia's is way too dangerous for her. See, when Pam Bam came back, she could fight Roberta Samad. She didn't have to go straight in there with a Arlene Blanco or Chris Cyborg, right? They had structure. They have structure. Whereas Leah Letson, you got to take the first free fighter, right? So, I don't know, man. That's just a tough one, man. To be said, explain to me, because I don't get it. So many fighters will comfortably keep their back against the cage as if they're in full guard on the mat. Why no double underhooks on head position? I just see somebody who's just being overwhelmed and lost. Like, no IQ, man. Like, if you're not trying to go for underhook, at least one underhook, or like you said, double underhooks, then you're not really looking to dominate. You're just kind of looking to survive, if you will. Like, if anything, when Letson's back was to the cage, you know, she should have got at least one underhook to keep Felicia Spencer from trying to level change to that leg. And she should have been pushing with the other palm, pushing the chin of Spencer, and then fighting for head control, you know. And then she could have reversed Felicia Spencer to the cage and then put her head in her chest, right? But I think that was just like a lack of IQ and bad execution, and ring rust from Leah Letson's part. Like you're dealing with a lot of tactics from Felicia Spencer. You're dealing with her strength. She's also trying to throw elbows. So it's kind of overwhelming too. And I think being out for 3 years did have a lot to do with that, But yeah, a lot of fighters, I don't know why they do that. Like, I would be trying to get the underhook anytime so I could get full control of the body in reverse, Look at the girl Trio from LFA. Like, when she got put to the back, she was working. I mean, she was hitting the body. She was flipping the girl that was trying to wrestle her, Alejandra Brown or something like that. Yeah, the girl Trio I was talking, strawweight, she was working, man. Like, when she got put to the fence, she was getting underhooks. She was body working. Oh, man, come on. Stray says Spencer versus Harrison might be interesting depending on where they both end up. Yeah, that would be an interesting fight, man. Felicia Spencer's like high level activity. She's a taekwondo, so her striking is a little bit better than Kayla. Let's see, Stamina said options weren't abundant. A fighter on a 2-fight skid doesn't seem like an immediately bad idea absent context. Yeah, it was bad choice, Brian. That's what I'm saying. Like, there was no structure in this division. And with no structure, like, you're just going to take the next best thing to come to you. I mean, honestly, Leah Letson versus Danielle Wolf might have made more sense, right? That fight made more sense. Gordon said, considering that Valentine herself says she wants a fresh face next, does that carry any weight with Dana if Maya beats Chikagan and calls out Valentina? Maybe a little bit, but I think if fighters like Grasso and Lee, if they win their fights and they don't want to fight, they're not going to get it. So the next best thing would be Jennifer Maia, right? Like, Jennifer Maia would be coming off a year since her Valentina fight. So maybe a year and a half, or 2 years. So it would kind of be something new. So Maia could jump in front of those fresh faces, because those fresh faces might want to back off. I mean, Andrea Lee said it right there that she's dealing with a fighter that's near perfect and she wants to earn it. And there's no problem with that. Like, if Andrea Lee wants to get in 2 more fights, that's smart. She needs to do that. Don't jump ahead, and at least talk the talk, though. Like, don't give Val too many props where, we think you're just going to get dominated. At least say something like, hey, like, I won it eventually, and I want to put both Shevchenko's names on my resume. You know what I mean? But don't say it like, oh, she's near perfect. Like, you just don't see it in the cards right now. But, you got to make it a little bit more convincing, like you want it. Like, Manon sound like she won it. She signed her next 4-fight contract, and Manon down the ladder, but eventually Manon wants it. So, and Manon knows she's dealing with a great fighter in Valentina, but she sounds like she wants it, though. I guess the closer you get, it depends on how your mind changes, right? But yeah, shout out to Leah Letson, man. I mean, she was dealing with a dog in there. I mean, Felicia just really had to stay in one dimension here and just really power through and dog her, like dirty boxing. Leah Letson just wasn't ready, man. Like, if Leah Letson had like a jab like Amanda Nunes, or even like the core strength to keep those power shots in the face like Chris Cyborg, then maybe the story would have been different. But she just let her come straight at her. I mean, even Norma Dumont had the striking, and like you said, two beasts. If you go back and look at what Norma Dumont was able to do, she had better control over Felicia Spencer, right? So I think it just comes down to positioning. Like, do you want to fight off your back, or do you just want to survive with your back to the cage? Like some like to fight off of the cage. Some just want to survive because they're nervous. Like they don't want to get taken down, so they clinch up for a neutral position, waiting for the referee to break them up, right? But sometimes that don't work. You need to work. You got to get in there and you got to be active. So Norma Dumont, what did she do? She stayed active. She took control. If there's any truth to the rumor Amanda wanted Nina to pull out of the Lemos fight, then maybe they both retire before the Nunes Pena fight. Man, why'd she tell her to do that if that rumor is true? All right, maybe she know what she up against, right? I mean, Gordon said because Maya lost by decision to Valentina, a win over Chikagan should earn her rematch, it would seem. I mean, yeah, it wasn't like, she was back and forth with Valentina. She only won one round, but since she's the only one being vocal about it, I would give her a fight. She's one of the most toughest fighters and most experienced fighters. Like, she still got more experience than the new faces coming in. I think Maya would do better than Arujo would. I think Maya would do better than Chikagan in a rematch. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got for tonight, though, man. I want to get off here about an hour. Get off an hour, and we'll talk some more tomorrow for sure, because it's fight week. I think we got 4 fights tomorrow. Hold on, let's see here. November 20th. And I want to talk about Roxanne too in a video this week, or maybe tomorrow. Roxanne was talking about why she wants to make this her last fight. Okay. All right, yeah, we got Luana Pinheiro and Sam Hughes, Loma Labuni and Lupita Godinez. Good fights. Ooh, then we got Jojo and Taylor Santos. Oh, my goodness. And then we got the main event, Ketlin Vieira versus Miesha Tate, which I'm not really crazy about that fight. I'm more crazy about Jojo and Taylor. Hell, I'm even more crazy about Loma Labuni and Lupita Godinez and Pinheiro and Hughes than Miesha Tate versus Ketlin Vieira. Am I the only one? Talk to me. For real. Am I the only one? Am I the only one not crazy about this Vieira and Tate main event? I think Jojo and Taylor is a much more exciting fight. And same with the strawweight fights. Loma and Lupita, that's going to be a crazy explosive fight. And I think Luana and Sam are going to bring it. There's going to be some good stand-up, man. I'm going to watch Ketlin and Miesha, but, I'm not crazy about the fight. I'm not as, I was kind of hyped, and I was like, when I saw this Taylor and Jojo, I was like, that's what I want to see. Yeah, 2Bs. Yeah, Loopy's real. Loopy's active. Yeah, stamina. I really don't, man. I'm going to watch it because it's the main event, I got some boxing to watch that night for real, though. Let me see. Brian Williams said Leah actually looked good for the first few seconds. She had that distance. She could definitely see the danger in Spencer. Yeah. Spencer has them high kicks, but I still think it would have been a good fight in the distance for Leah Letson, Gordon, I'm just pointing out that Chikagan and Andrade were finished by Val compared to Maya. Right, yeah. She looks the most durable, yeah. Gordon said Jojo Taylor, Grasso Arujo, and Priscilla and Jillian are the next fascinating matchups to me. Predictions for these fights to come in later. I'm not ready yet for those two. But JoJo Taylor, I'm gonna drop that this week. Stray said agree, not crazy about Tavia. Others are good fights. Yeah, that's about all I'm interested in 2Bs. I just want to see the next level of Misha. Like, is it really real? You know what I mean? Like, the Marion was interesting, but I want to see it tested against a big bantamweight in Ketleveria for real. All right, y'all. So we'll talk some straw weight. I think we'll talk some straw weights tomorrow. Oh yeah. Like Tim Tszyu and Nui is tomorrow night, right? Dang, I keep forgetting. Like, is it in Australia? Because I know some Australian times they be boxing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I remember that Jeff Horn and Tszyu fight was like on a Wednesday or something like that. To be said, we should be crapping on the main event. I'm just being real, man. Like, we're gonna do real talk. We're fanatics, but we're still gonna be real, man. Like, for me, I mean, like, Taylor and Calderwood's got my interest right now. Like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm still gonna support it because I am a fanatic, but I don't like everything. So, well, I mean, I like it, but I'm not crazy about it. Oh yeah, Silva. What's next for Silva? Molly McCann and Cortney Casey would be a good fight. Yes, it's definitely not like a great main event. Like, I can make better main events at WMMA than that. So I think Marina Rodriguez and Joanna for a UFC fight night would be a good main event. I think like Whaley versus Mackenzie Dern would be like a good main event for a UFC fight night. Televised cards, that is. So. Yeah, Corey said he gonna try to get. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I mean, like I said, I am a fanatic, but I'm a realist fanatic, I guess. I'm just kind of going off of the past performances of Ketleveria and the question over Miesha Tate's head still, right? But yeah, we're gonna do some strawweight talk tomorrow, and I might do a little open link. Strawweight talk is gonna be about the rankings a little bit and what's next for these fighters. We're gonna talk about Andrade, where's she gonna go? Is Andrade gonna be back down to 115? Whaley, where she stands, Marina, Mackenzie, Joanna, Rose. Try to talk about all of that, man. Yeah. Tubi said he hoping Misha starts twerking after the fight. Or tweaking. No, twerk. I think people would rather see her tweak than twerk, though. Man, if she started twerking, I'd be like, oh, man. Significant strike, that would be Casey O'Neill. Happy Warrior is taking on Casey O'Neill. Yeah, Casey O'Neill, man. Says she's ready to call it quits, man, because she says she's been getting headaches and sparring, and she says she's starting to feel that she don't want to get to that point, but she's been feeling like headaches and sparring. She's been having to cut back on like training hard, so it's time to go. You know what I mean? Like, man, that's real. I mean, she's been in here for like 50 fights, like counting the Tough House fight, like she said. I mean, she's been here for a long time, man. Hurt knees and possible brain damage on the rise. So it's time to go, man. It's time to go. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat for coming through tonight. Like always, good conversation, like always. And Breaker Gang, hit the chat, hit the always shout out to the chat. Breaker Gang, hit the thumbs up button. hit the like button, you know. Because like I said, when you don't hit it, notifications don't go out. And then you miss a live stream, then you be like, oh man, I missed the live stream. Well, if you hit the like button, you know, they'll start posting it more. And if you hit the like button, I'll keep on doing these, like I said. But yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow. Let's talk this strawweight division. I got to kind of go through that and see how I want to do it tomorrow. Valerie Laredo, though, man, wow. Yeah, she's got to do some things, man. She's got to work. Valerie Laredo has to put in the work before she can keep on like doing this stuff, man. I see where people are coming from. You know, I was kind of comparing it to Paige in the poll, but at least Paige kind of hit the scene fighting hard. You know, I might do another video talking about that, but yeah, I think at least Paige, she did kind of fight hard in the beginning. I don't know, man. Like, this generation now, man, these IG models, guys and girls, man, they're like, they just don't want to put the work in, man. Well, they want to get it easy. I mean, I understand where she's coming from. She wants to build her brand, but I mean, like, the fighting is one thing, man. Then the twerking is another. Like, keep that out of the game. Keep that out of the octagon, man. Like, that's just me. You want to do it on IG, fine. You know, it's there. We'll see it. We'll watch it, right? But if you try to do this thing like an octagon, like, it's kind of distasteful, man. But that's a story for another video. Gordon Moore said he has Vieira as of right now. Okay. I could see her winning, but I don't know. Yeah, because if I compare Paige, like, when she was 18 and she first hit the game, she was fighting hard in the beginning. Like, she wasn't like overly gushy with the sex appeal and all of that. Like, it was more so men already kind of eyeing her like that. She kind of came in. Paige kind of capitalized off of that whenever she seen how men were always thirsty for her. You know what I mean? But like, she never really came in twerking. Like, it kind of just spills out whether she likes it or not. But like, when you have somebody that just constantly throws it in your face, you kind of like, oh man, come on, put that away. You know, put that away. This is a fight game right now, right? So what's the difference? Laredo likes to flaunt it, twerk it, but we want to see her fight, man. We want to see her learn how to. I mean, you're just coming off a loss. This performance here wasn't the best, so you know, like, let's get to work in before you start doing this and that. You know. Yeah, two beats. Tracy Cortez is winning. Like, I had my eye on Tracy Cortez more than Valerie. Like, I'm not even like basing it off of looks. Like, I'm talking about like just fighting. Like, she's on my radar as a fighter, not like how she looks. Like, she's beat some credible people even before the UFC. So I was like, okay, this girl's got something. You know, at only one loss on her resume, you know, early on, she's definitely improved. And she doesn't just throw it around like that. Yeah, that's my point, stamina. Right. Always fought hard, you know what I mean? Like, always put on a good show. But yeah, it wasn't until now, like, she knows fighting is about over, and she's kind of just going with the flow, appreciating her beauty. And now she's like, okay, yeah, like, I'm gonna make something because fighting is about done, right? So I gotta build a brand. Let's use these looks. Let's make this site, and we'll do this, right? But in the very beginning, you know, we want to see you fight. And I think Valerie Lareda's kind of mixing that up. Kind of like Ryan Garcia, man. Like I said, like Ryan Garcia, IG models, their followings get so big that they think they don't have to train anymore. Gordon crazy. Man, if Valentina does that, man, she better not. I mean, I don't think she can do that type of dance. She better stick to the regular dance that she does. You know, Val doing the Russian dance is much more on her speed. But yeah, let me get up off of here, guys. Yeah, again, I will be on tomorrow, 1:15. 1:15 talk tomorrow, y'all. Like always, Combo Breaker 99. Shout out to everybody. I am out. Subscribe. Peace.